Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to week 10 of our English 101 class. This week we are working on our annotated bibliography for our Project 3 research. And as we talked a little bit last week, the annotated bibliography is basically a research journal that shows what sources you're planning on using and a little bit about how you plan to use them. So we're going to be working on that most of this week, as well as working on our essay. So it's kind of a double whammy sort of situation because we are going to be working on these next week too, turning in that annotated bibliography on the 16th and the final draft of Project 3 on the 18th. I just want to remind us that these are two separate documents. Sometimes there's the temptation to pretend like the annotated bibliography is your works cited page and put it in Project 3, but that is not correct. Don't do that. They are two separate assignments, two separate documents. Project 3 will still have a works cited page in MLA format. The annotated bibliography is a completely separate document. It just tells me what kind of research you've done for this project. So I want to have us look at the annotated bibliography real quickly here. The annotated bibliography, while the research is time consuming, is actually a pretty easy place to earn a good chunk of points if you're thinking about that as we get toward the end of the quarter, because I'm basically grading this as a checklist. Are you following MLA format? Do you have a citation that's in MLA format? And do you have a paragraph following the citation that is doing the things I asked you to do in the paragraph? I'm not really checking for grammar. I'm not looking to see if your ideas are earth shattering. I'm just looking to see if you can do those three things. So you are required to have 3 sources for our Project 3 assignment. 2 of those need to be from the CBC library databases. I have links in the modules tab to help you with research. You can also reach out to the CBC librarians. They are fantastic and will be very happy to help you find what you need. So I have a sample document for you for the annotated bibliography, which sometimes it helps to just look at the sample. So we're going to do that now. If you scroll down, we're all done with Project 2, hooray. Here's Project 3. Everything, of course, you need to be successful in Project 3 because you can't do an annotated bibliography if you don't know the topic of your essay. So everything you need is in here. The annotated bibliography here is a video on how to find sources for your annotated bibliography. So I will walk you through the CBC library databases. You can also reach out to the librarians for help there. Here is the prompt, and here is an annotated bibliography sample. So if we take a look at the sample here, it is a very specific format that you're going to be following for this document. There are a lot of points associated with format, so I want to make sure that we're doing that format correctly. It is an MLA, so you've got your running header. You have your student name, instructor, class, and date. The title of the document is just annotated bibliography. That's easy. And then you've got your MLA formatted citation. These are going to be alphabetized, so make sure that you are alphabetizing by the first letter in whatever part of the citation comes first. If you have an author, it's going to be the first letter of the author's last name. If there's no author, then it will be the first letter of the article title, that kind of stuff. So make sure you're alphabetizing your citations. Make sure those citations have a hanging indent. Remember, the hanging indent we can do by making the ruler appear and grabbing just this bottom triangle and pulling it over half an inch. Normally it would look like that, but if we pull it over half an inch, ta-da! It's got the hanging indent, so make sure you've got that. And then we have our annotation. So if you're wondering why this is called an annotated bibliography, a citation is oftentimes referred to as a bibliography, and the paragraph is called the annotation. So that's why it's an annotated bibliography. And our annotations need to do 3 things. First, we need a couple sentences of summary of the article, and I've got this color-coded for you here. So tell me what the article is about. We've gotten practice summarizing, so that should be pretty easy. Doesn't need to be a huge summary. 2 or 3 sentences, something like that will do it for us. And then in the blue, we want to see how you're going to use the article in your essay. Now, what I like to do in my annotated bibliographies is find the quotes I think I'm going to use in my essay and put them in here, including an in-text citation. That way, when I get to writing the essay, I don't have to go back through all of those articles to try and find these quotes. I've just got them collected already, so I can just copy and paste from here into my essay. It saves so much time. So consider doing that if you find a quote that you think is really excellent. Make sure that you're keeping track of that. So pop it right in here. Make sure you've got that in-text citation so you don't have to go back to the article and look up what page it's on, and you should be good to go. And then finally, an evaluation of the effectiveness of the source. How do we know that this is a good source? A lot of that comes from where it's been published and who is publishing it. If it's published on somebody's blog, it's probably not a good source. If it's published in the CBC library databases, it's probably a much safer bet. If it's somebody's post on Instagram, probably not. But if it's in a recognized national level newspaper, probably a safer bet, right? So think about what makes sources reliable, what makes them trustworthy, and then tell me how you know that this is a good source, that it's not just somebody's garbage ramblings, right? We want to make sure that we're using good sources to support our argument. So tell me a little bit about it. And that's all you need to do. And you're going to do that 3 times because you need 3 sources for this annotated bibliography. In terms of format, your sources are just going to come one right after another. You're not going to have to put them on separate pages. So the document, I'm just going to copy this so you can kind of see what it looks like. It'd just go like this. So you'd have 3 sources right in a row. 1 source, 2 source, 3 source. We're not numbering them or anything. This is just the way they're formatted. And that's how your document's going to look. That's the annotated bibliography in a nutshell. Hooray! There's more helpful materials in the modules as well. So if you have any questions, please go in and check there. If you have questions about how to find sources, remember you can reach out to the CBC librarians. We've got help for you here in the library time module folder. And then we also have some grammar help if you're working on project 3 and you're not quite sure. We've got some helpful things, vocabulary builder websites, common grammatical mistakes, dangling modifiers, common essay errors, all that good stuff. So take advantage of that as you're doing your annotated bibliography. Make sure you are following MLA format. So we've got our citation generators here. We've got the style guides here. Make sure you're using all those resources so that we can get to really solid points before the end of the quarter. All right, as always, if you guys have any questions, please reach out. I'm here to help. Have a great week.